So I've totally cashed out of all of my put spread positions. I'm in cash except for TFLO. I've added some positions there, and I want to go over what my plans are for the future, or at least the near future. So we can see here my net liquidation is $11,411. I made $1.15 on TFLO, which is great. So TFLO is a very safe position to put my money in. I'm supposed to have 50% of my account in there, and actually it's 25% of my buying power. And I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. So we can see here I have 225 shares, and it's only requiring around $2,850. But if we take the shares and multiply it by the price that I bought it at, which was around $50.63, the notional value here is actually $11,391.75. So if I was in a cash account, that's how much cash I would need to own that many shares. If I wanted to, I could double the amount of shares, and it only requires me to have $5,000. I don't want to do that just yet, just because of the fact that I am actually using $11,391. It only required half of my actual cash, and then now that I own it, it's only requiring a quarter of my cash. So I'm just leaving it alone right now. 225 shares is more than I can own anyways with the cash I have. I'm just taking advantage of the margin. And then as I learn more about it, I might add more shares to it. But ultimately, my goal was to have 50% in TFLO. And right now, with my capital requirement, I only have around 25% right now. So I'm just going to leave it alone. 25% is good right now to be in there. So I'm happy with what I've got in TFLO. So what am I doing with the other portions of my account? My goal is to have 20% of my account in stocks and around 30% in options. Well, I went shopping around for options right now. Nothing really looks good. I'm looking for a good chart pattern that's basing out on a stock that I can afford. And I can really only afford stocks that are trading at around $30. So there's not a whole lot of opportunity. The stocks that I'm looking for right now are Palantir, AI, SoFi, and many of these stocks have earnings coming out. I'm not really quick to pull the trigger. Being in cash, preserving capital is way more important than making profits, especially right now. We don't really know what's going on in the markets, and if there's nothing that really looks good right now, I'm perfectly fine with just holding on and waiting. But I want to show you a stock that I'm really interested in, and you might be familiar with it because I just got out of the positions. It's Tesla. So what we can see right now on the Tesla chart, or the weekly chart, we're seeing a green engulfing candle. And that's really good to see. We're seeing strength here. We're seeing the touch at the bottom of the bull flag that we wanted to see. And we're seeing strength coming up. That's exactly what we want to see. Strength coming up after it has touched that line. I think things are going to start looking positive for Tesla. And I think it's a great time for me to get in. So since I'm giving myself around $3,000 to buy stocks, which stock do I want to buy? I think I want to do Tesla. We can see on the daily chart, it has broken this downward trending line, and it's holding there. So we're seeing the price level around 170. So we're seeing strength to the upside. I think we're seeing a new Tesla here to the upside. We're going to be breaking this downward trend, and I think it's a good time, at least in my opinion and in my thoughts, to get in on Tesla. So if I was going to use $3,000 from my account to buy shares, how many could I buy? If it's trading around, we'll say $171, and I have $3,000, we're looking at around 18 shares. So I want to try to open up a position here with 18 shares or so, probably tomorrow. We'll see what the stock does, but that's what I want to do, is own some shares of Tesla here. I'm not pressured into a time limit. I'm not doing any put spreads on Tesla. I want to be a shareholder. I believe that we are seeing a bottom here, and I want to get in and hold on because I'm not too worried if Tesla goes down. I believe that it's going to be going up, and it's just a matter of time. And so, to me, putting 18 shares in Tesla right now is a good move. So overall in the market, it's hard to say what it wants to do. I think we're starting to see a base here, but overall we opened low and we saw a push up to the 8 EMA. We didn't break the 8 EMA and hold. So That's still not a really good thing to see. We could see a change in direction, but we really need to see strength going up, and we're not quite seeing that yet. So there is no promise here again that we're going to be getting out of this downtrend here. We could be forming a base here, but it's really not sure. There's no real way to tell. We just have to have time to see. I mean, what's next week going to hold? It's hard to say. But I think getting out of my 30-20-10 strategy was a good move today. Going ahead and just closing all the positions and not worrying about trying to make that money back using the E-mini S&P 500. So it's time to just close the positions as a mistake and clean the slate and move on and grab that learning lesson that I learned after losing nearly half of my account. That's my plan for the near future. There's no options for the wheel strategy that I like to do. I like to look for a stock that I want to buy that I can afford 100 shares of. Right now, nothing looks good. And the ones that I'm interested in have earnings coming up. So I'm just going to wait until those earnings have passed before I open any options positions at this point. So I'm a new options trader. My goal is to make the money back that I lost after losing nearly half of my account. I want to get back up to $16,000, and right now I'm at around $11,400. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to be owning stocks, trading options, and then putting half of my capital in TFLO, a safe place. And the main thing is managing risk, focusing on risk and not the profits. Protecting capital is greater than making a profit. So if you want to join me on that journey, hit the subscribe button. And if this video was a help to you, hit the like button, and we will see you on the next video.